second session, and we'll be moving on to our business items. And the first of which is adoption of a resolution to approve an agreement and notice to form for accessory dwelling units. Mr. Bond.
Thank you. Tonight you have the exciting task of approving a form that can be used in conjunction with our new accessory dwelling unit ordinance. Ordinance 11-19 created Chapter 20.68 of the Municipal Code, and it requires owner occupancy of an accessory dwelling unit. So anybody who wants to build an ADU in their backyard or attached to their house can do so, but they have to record a covenant on their property that states that one of the two units would be owner occupied, so that you're not creating a rental situation with two units. So tonight you're just simply approving this form so that we can use it administratively rather than having to bring it to you every time for approval.
And this is for new ADUs.
Correct. Although existing ADUs can be brought in, if they're non-conforming, can be made conforming and use this agreement.
Okay. All right, Mr. Clausen.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a resolution approving the form for the city's ADU agreement and notice to title.
Second.
A second by Councilmember Rosa Pepe. Any discussion or questions for Mr. Bond? Okay, hearing none, you'd be voting on the adoption to approve the agreement and notice to form for the accessory dwelling units. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. We are on to 8B, adoption of a resolution appointing a planning commissioner. I think that's me. While I bring up my, the city's clerk office was notified by Mr. Marcus Lane that he was resigning from the planning commission and was moving out of the city. He agreed to stay on the planning commission until an appointment for his replacement was made. His term expires December 31st, 2020, pursuant to RCW 35.63.030. When a vacancy occurs, it should be filled by an unexpired term pursuant to RCW 35.63.020. The appointment by the mayor with confirmation by the city council. Mayor would like to appoint Mr. Phil King to the Planning Commission with an unexpired term of December 31st, 2020. So, Councilmember Lucarelli.
I move to adopt a resolution confirming the mayor's appointment of Mr. Philip King to the Planning Commission as set forth in the resolution presented.
Seconded.
Got a second by Councilmember Clausen. And if you, go ahead, Mr. Rosen.
No, I just had a question.
Okay, well, maybe I'll answer it. I'll give you a little bit of background on him. Phil has lived in Port Orchard for 45 years. The last 16 years downtown. He's a foster parent and has two adopted girls. He works on the youth board for First Lutheran Church. Phil and I have known each other. I've met him in middle school where we were in band together. We both played the trombone. Fortunately, neither one of us was very good, and so we're not musicians. And our children played together in Little League. So it's excited. Phil approached me more than a year ago and said, "Hey, when there's an opening on the Planning Commission, I want to do that." So it's neat when we've got people that want to get involved. So
That was not my question.
okay,
But it
then
sounds like a great guy.
he is a good guy.
My question was, you said 2020 and everything that I'm reading here is 2022.
Correct.
You're correct. If I said 2020, I misspoke. It is 2022.
Thank you.
All right, other questions? All right, to be voting on the approving my appointment of Phil King as Planning Commissioner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, Mr. King has been approved. We are to third item on our business, approval of the June 25th, 2019 council meeting minutes.
Mayor, I move we approve the council meeting from June 25th.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second, and we'll have an abstention by Councilmember Lucarelli. Any discussion of those minutes? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And one abstention. So those minutes are approved. We will get to our committee reports here this evening. Finance is meeting next week. I don't know that you've had any other report to
That's
give.
it. Thank you, sir.
It's next Tuesday, 5:30 PM here at City Hall. Economic Development and Tourism, have you met?
No, we canceled yet our meeting, which would have been held yesterday, and we will be meeting the second Monday in August, 9:30, here in council chambers.
Okay.
I will not be here for that meeting. on
Oh,
the
you won't
12th.
be?
No.
Okay.
All right, we'll either move the meeting date or we'll have it without Councilmember Rosa Pepe. Utilities, have you met?
No, we haven't, actually. The July meeting was canceled. We're meeting August 19th, 9:30 a.m. here at City Hall.
Okay. Sewer Advisory
August 14th here at City Hall, 6:30 p.m.
and Land Use. I know you met. Councilmember Diener and Kachardi are absent. Mr. Bond, do you want to give a report on what they talked about?
I'll do my best. We talked about renewing the lease for Key Bank on the waterway down at West Bay Center. They have a lease agreement with the city, and so we had a number of questions, and we're getting back to the committee on that. We talked about multifamily tax abatement, and I think we've developed a couple of alternatives that we're going to run by the council at work study next week, and then we'll take that back to land use to refine and try to bring forward an ordinance to revise that policy. Trying to think, I think, was there a street vacate that we discussed on there?
Could have been.
Yeah, there's a street vacation that I think right now the committee is recommending we do not go forward with, and I think that was everything.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Was there one more thing? Oh, I've got that in my mayor's report, so we'll talk about that, what our insurance company had to say. Lodging tax, anything?
Nothing new.
Nothing to report. Chimes and lights.
August 19th, 3:30 p.m. here at City Hall.
Okay, and I'll grab outside agencies. In my mayor's report, I've got a few things. Do you have any I covered the
No,
executive
we've-
committee for
yeah.
you, and I don't have anything to report from that.
Exactly, and KRCC did not meet in July, and they typically don't meet in August, so we won't be meeting again until September. And I don't think we have anything, well, you have exciting news from
I do.
PSRC,
I
so
do,
we'll
and
let
that's
you.
on my mayor's report, and I've got a special meeting for the Growth Management Policy Board as we work on Vision 2050. That's this Thursday,
Yeah.
and that I'll be traveling back over to Seattle for that. So, on to my mayor's report, and I've got a few things, so I'll go as quickly as I can. We've got the Tremont Street Celebration coming up, August 2nd, 1 p.m. Carolyn Powers knows, and she's expecting a ride, Mr. Clausen.
Got it on the schedule.
Okay, and I've got Jan, Jesse, Emily, and we've been pushing it out there. We've got the farmer's insurance agent that's on Tremont, Trina Noki, have I got that right? Her last name?
Yes.
Is going to provide hot dogs,
Oh.
bottled water, and a cake. Is going to pitch a tent there and provide refreshments, so very nice.
Invite TIB to that.
I got to get with, Mark's been gone for 2 weeks.
Okay.
We got to work through some logistical things like getting some construction fencing off of the area where we're going to do this so we don't look like inmates looking through the fence. It's my goal. So we have a meeting later in the week with the contractor. And as we've talked a bit about our success that we had at the Transportation Policy Board at Puget Sound Regional Council, and recently the executive board met, and we were successful in getting the $1.3 million additional funding for Tremont. So,
Congratulations.
Yes,
so
that's huge.
very good. So we won't have to tap any of our reserves to cover our overruns. So let's see, McCormick Water System, we've had a fair amount of conversation about that and some articles in the paper. I have had a couple of conversations with Eric Campbell with McCormick Communities. We have received a proposal on a global agreement with them. We are still working through our consultant and their consultant on the data and the number of connections that exist there. There's a feeling that we could make a request from Bremerton to increase the amount of water we get from the Anderson Hill lift station, but until we know how much water we need, so I'm hopeful this data will be done by the end of the week, and that we can take, make a request of Bremerton. Well 13, we're drilling a hole in the ground up there at the top of the hill at Sedgwick. We're down, as of the end of last week, we were at 1,690 feet. We found water at between and the soils. The soils looked encouraging between 1515 and 1550. They want to find the bedrock, which they believe will be within the next 100 feet. And the soils that we took out at that range where we believe we want to draw the water at are out for analysis to determine the right proper soils. And then once we find the bedrock, I'm told that they can analyze that aquifer and determine how much water we can draw out of it and so on and so forth. So more to come. But we
At least
found
we had water.
we found water. That's yes.
I was
We have a
hoping
very
for
deep
oil.
hole, and we were hoping we were going to find that water about 1,200 feet. But we've I think an email came out to everybody on. Gosh, we've just had a number of new hires. We've had departures of Thomas Hunter, who is now the Public Works director in Port Angeles. Our police chief retired last Friday. We're going to have a little ceremony here in a few minutes, swearing in our new police chief. And Von Nix from our Public Works Department has accepted a job at the Naval Base. So I thank all of those individuals for their years of service to the city. Our new mechanics on board, Tim Johnson, Matt Brown, which we're going to have our swearing here in a moment. You met Jackie Brown, no relation. We've got Becca Wilson. Michelle's out having a baby, so she's covering the front desk for the next couple of months. We've hired 4 seasonal hires: Austin Laurie, Derek Lowe, Evan Lenius, and Joseph Giron, just in the last couple of weeks. And we've hired a heavy equipment operator, Brian Doby. And a week from Monday, we'll be conducting the interviews for the Public Works Manager position. So every time I think we're getting close to having all the jobs filled, more openings happen. So it's just the economy. Somebody asked me for vacancy rates and rents. I passed this out, and Brandy, you could throw that on the screen. So I got this data from Doug Washburn at the county, and it's interesting that we have the 3rd highest rents in the state here in Kitsap County. Now remember, Bainbridge Island is part of Kitsap County too. I wish I could get the data by zip code. I don't think our average rents are quite this high, but $1,400 on a average square foot of 830 square feet for $1.69. Seattle's at $226 per square foot. Snohomish at $177, and we're 3rd at $169. So just thought that was interesting data. So I wanted to share it with all of you. Went to the AWC conference. That's always good. And I would say the best takeaway I got from it, we're developing our GIS system. And I learned a whole bunch about GIS so that when they're talking in the hallway, I kind of understand some of the stuff they're saying. And we're using it for our utilities, where our manholes are, where our storm grates are, where the pipes are, as we and have actual data for that. But there's communities that are using it for 3D imaging. So I think it could be really valuable in downtown. Here's what we have, here's what our zoning approved, and this is what it would look like. Be cubes, but there are communities doing that. And so as we do our mid-year biennial review, I think we want to get maybe a cost on that and whether or not we can afford to have that done, because I think it'd be very valuable. I also obtained my advanced certificate in municipal leadership here really recently from AWC, and Noah was confirmed by AWC Board of Directors to serve on the Board of Workers' Comp Retro Board. So we've got Brandy on a regional board, we've got Mark on one, we've got Noah on one, and then Nick's over there going, nope, no. He does serve on a couple of boards at Puget Sound Regional, or a board on Puget Sound Regional Council. So, last thing I have is bouncy houses. Land use took those up, and we're getting a lot of requests for those to put them in our parks. And so here's what our insurance company has to say about that. They are considered high risk. The primary target of these are for children, and they're rarely operated by qualified professionals and can be easily caught in the wind, injuring the users. These factors lead to large risk for the owners of the land they are used on. And then they cited a settlement from Yakima, and then another incident in Zillow where it took off in flight. And it was anchored with 18-inch stakes in the ground. So they're not saying we can't do this, but they're recommending strongly that we don't allow these. And our code is silent on this. So if you concur, I think we need to have staff work on language on our code so that we're not approving them right now, but because it doesn't allow it in our code, but it's not allowed either. So, is anybody passionate about bouncy houses? Okay. I didn't think you would be, but I just wanted to share that with you. So that's all I have. We are on to, where is my agenda? It's caught in the papers here. Citizen comments, I believe you're right.
Department heads.
Department heads. Okay, there we go. Mr. Crocker, you have anything for us?
I'll just be brief tonight. We've had the state auditor's office in our office the last month. They're going to be finishing up their audit this week, and so look for an email to come out from us regarding our exit conference. So that'll be coming up, and so far I'm keeping my fingers crossed. All good news.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Bond?
Nothing tonight.
Okay. Sharon?
Nothing for me tonight either.
Okay, Brandy? Wow, that was quick. All right, now we're to our second citizen comment period. Anybody wishing to address the council on anything not on our agenda? We've got a whole bunch of folks that want to see our new police chief, I think, get sworn in. So we'll get to that. That's the very next thing we're going to do. So we are going to adjourn this meeting. No,
You want to swear him in before we?
swear it in? Okay, we'll swear him, and then I'll officially adjourn the meeting. So why don't we wrangle all those guys into the guys and gals? It's done. Direct. Chief Brown's wife, Darcy. Control. Brown, you want to come up and join me here?
Get everybody in here.
Who's gonna, my wife is gonna sew.
There. You want to take this with you
guess
or
maybe I
stand
want to-
closer?
Maybe I'll take this one. All right. Now they can hear. So,
You still have people filtering in, Mayor.
plenty of chairs. Come on into the room. It's fabulous to see all you guys here tonight. At least another half a dozen chairs here on the left side. Come on in. We want to fit everybody in the room. Just want to welcome you and thank you for coming here this evening. Sorry we had to conduct our business earlier first, but this is an exciting moment, and you're here to share it with us as we swear our new police chief, Matt Brown, in. So with that, I'm going to get to the business at hand here. So Chief Brown, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Matthew Brown, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
I, Matthew Brown, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Washington
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Washington
and all local ordinances, and that I will faithfully and impartially perform and discharge the duties of the office of Police Chief of the City of Port Orchard, Washington, according to the law and to the best of my ability.
and all local ordinances, and that I will faithfully and impartially perform and discharge the duties of the office of Police Chief of the City of Port Orchard, Washington, according to law and the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Mr. Brown, Chief's wife, would like to pin his badge on him. I've said enough tonight, and I'm going to give you this microphone for a moment, and then we've got some refreshments in the back room.
I'll just boom it out. That's okay. I got about 45 minutes of material. Sorry. No, I'll be brief. I know it's been a long night. I really wanted to thank council and the mayor for letting us do this. This is important for the city, important for the folks that I'm going to be working for now, and it's important to me that all the people that are in this room came and joined us. My folks are here. My god kids are here, and their mom, and lots of friends and mentors and old partners and classmates and neighbors and family. And this is incredible to have all of you guys here, and I really appreciate it. I would not be here if it wasn't for everyone in this room, and I would not be here if it wasn't for my wife. She has supported me through all of these things, all of these transitions. I wouldn't be standing up here without her. So I thank you very much. Everybody stare at her. She's right there in the front. So, anyway, that's all I have. Again, thank you very much for everybody that has helped me be here, and know that I will be calling probably every single one in this room saying, hey guys, what do I do? To include the people that I'm going to be working for. So thank you very much.
I think I'll just, is it still on? No. Yes, it is. So I'll just adjourn the meeting from here if you don't mind. So the meeting is adjourned, and please join us for refreshments.